Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. One thing when you lie is to be consistent. Inconsistency, draw attention. So whenever someone lies, that someone has to be consistent. Otherwise, his lies will be quickly picked up as what they are, lies. I have here an article coming from the New Voice of Ukraine, and these guys over there, I think they lost themselves in telling the truth, not telling the truth, doing this, doing that. So I don't know if they really know where they are now. They don't know what to say. They give us some information, I think it's information, or disinformation, or misinformation, that actually contradicts some other information that they provided all along this war in Ukraine. So let's start with this article and read the headline. Russia sending elite units to Bakhmut due to heavy PMC Wagner losses. This is from the New Voice of Ukraine on April 10th, 2023. Well, this is what's interesting. So Russia has elite units still. I heard from, I've been hearing for about a year, more than a year, that the Russian elite units are gone, are done, have been eliminated. And the Russians are fighting only with, losers and untrained personnel, and, Wagner Group is getting people from prison to fight for them and all. So just the untrained criminals. And they even said that they are sick and have AIDS and have this and have that. And all of a sudden, we find out that the Russians still have elite troops. I think they always have had elite troops. They have them and they will have them unless you wipe the whole thing up, which they didn't, and they will not. So let's read further and see what information the Ukrainians are providing us with. Now, it says here that he emphasized the move was a forced measure rather than a planned step to beef up the Russian forces in the area. Cherevati noted that Russian airborne units had also reported losses in Bakhmut and had been reinforced by conscripts. And I'm quoting, Wagner Group is suffering very heavy losses, so they are forced to bring in additional regular army units, including paratroopers and motorized riflemen, to replenish the group in the area, end quote, he said. Earlier, Ukrainian Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar said that the Russian invaders were deployed not only Wagner mercenary forces, but also their most professional units. Again, they were parroting or they were vomiting for the past year that those guys are gone. And now we find professional, how's that word here? Elite. Where from Putin's butt? Which have already suffered significant losses in attempt operation to capture Bakhmut. Obviously, I cannot refute that information or, say anything much about it because as a fact, because I don't have the facts. Is she said, he said. The problem is what I'm doing, I'm using my memory and their previous statements. And their previous statements were that the Russians lost their elite units in the first 2 months of the war. But the Ukrainians did not. Only the Russians. So, experience and intelligence and, knowledge tells me that really that cannot be true. But hey, if people want to believe that, that's fine with me. Now, why would the Russians send that? Well, obviously that might be a sign of weakness, correct? Correct. That's the whole purpose of this article, not to let us know that the Russians still have paratroopers and elite troops and professionals. No, that's not the reason. The reason is to let us know that the Wagner Group and the Russian forces are not winning in Bakhmut, which again, I doubt that 99.9%. But hey, let's get going with the scenario, with the script. So, since the Russians are losing in Bakhmut, they need to up their game. How do they up the game? I don't know, they resurrect some of their elite troops from, I don't know, a year ago, which were buried already, but it's okay. These are Russians, they can do it. And they will go and fight the Ukrainians. As I said, I think the Russians still have elite troops, and I don't know if they send them or not, because I don't know. They say so, they lie a lot. We all lie a lot, and the Russians lie as well. So, you know, but using logic and common sense, you can kind of be careful and not step on the poop that it's on that dark alley that I'm talking about from time to time. In this case, this is the way I think the Russians conducted this war. I think they conducted the war with, in my assessment, with a minimum effort. Yeah, people might laugh and all that, or maybe with the most, in a most efficient way for the Russian society and Russia overall, not to have shocks, economic shocks, social shocks, and political shocks, including military, within Russia. I think they used as much as they could, not the proper military, the Russian military, and that therefore when they mobilized those 300,000 new people to fight over there, they didn't want to rock the boat too much. Remember, Russia could potentially mobilize probably 30 million people if they really want to do a Stalingrad counterattack and push the Wehrmacht back. So they don't, and they didn't because they don't want to do that. They're not in the situation yet. They want to make sure that the people, the Russians in the big cities, have food, go to work, everything is okay, the wine is flowing, the TV is on, and all that. Because once that is still the same, Putin and his buddies can do whatever is needed for Russia in Ukraine against their enemies, which is United States and the guys that are vassal states to the United States of America. So I think that's the way the Russians fought. We're going to lose as little as possible from our personnel. Again, people might say, the Russians already lost 175,000 fighters and so on. Well, I don't know that. That's what the Ukrainians say, and the Ukrainians also lie as everybody else. So when you hear that, again, maybe not, I don't know, and I don't believe them, okay? And why don't I believe them? Because I don't know how many Ukrainians died. They say about 13,000, a month ago, Zelensky said, that makes me laugh. I mean, how do you expect 13,000 of Ukrainians and 175,000 million, thousands of Russians? Again, I think, and even if those 175,000 Russians died indeed, or approximately, I guarantee you that the big bulk of those who were killed were Wagner Group fighters, volunteers, and volunteers from the territories that now are incorporated into Russia, not those that are from St. Petersburg, Moscow, and other big towns. So those people do not see their boys coming back in, you know what I mean? So that's basically what's going on over there. Now they send the elite troops. Maybe they send the elite troops just to clean the city, but you don't need to clean a city elite troops. You need really people who know just to squeeze that trigger, an automatic, and then that's it. That's all you need over there to clean it. And I think the Russians are at that point of cleaning Bakhmut. I don't see Bakhmut, how should I put it, resurrecting now that we just had the resurrection and so on, Easter. I don't think that's going to happen. Rather, I think the Russians will be able to pinch them over there, surround them, and have them surrender. Or, I don't know, eliminated in the end if they don't, which I think they will come out as they came out at Azovstal. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.